This is the evening news for Monday, February 17, 2014. I'm Samuel Supnandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. Suspect in female taxi driver murder confesses. U.S. envoy says lead project is good for Guyana. PPP says Gangabasor to be replaced in Parliament. FITA calls for timely passage of the anti-money laundering bill. And Hugo Chavez Rehab Center to open soon. And now for the news in detail. Bishar Mohammed now reports that a nude body of a female taxi driver was discovered aback the Dakara Creek area, Tamiri East Bank, Demerara on Sunday morning. The details in this report.
33-year-old Savitri Gangadin Parma of Matadale Road, Suzaik East Bank, Demerara, was discovered about 600 hours by her husband and family members who went in search of her after receiving information that her abandoned car was found with her son fast asleep. Father-in-law of the dead woman told Evening News that after his son contacted him on Saturday afternoon and related that Gangadin was missing, they rushed to the location where the car was found.
He directly went there and we go and see by the car. The car was there, but the driver, the girl wasn't there. So he tell me he see his son in the car, his small son been in the back seat sleeping. So we think we hear a scream in the bush. The police been there also. We hear a scream in the bush, and like an hour after, the police them we stop hearing the scream, and the police them just tell me they got carry car to the station. Because they got dust the car and all kind of thing. So I see the person at the workplace, and he just stops here and say you want a special for going in the loom pit.
Sharon Gangadin, the dead woman's sister, slammed the police for the way they handled the situation.
The police could have really done something, and they didn't even make too much effort into it. They could have really, save her life the night. And they hear she was screaming and hollering and they just leave. They hear this woman, they see the car parked there. Nowhere the woman to be found. Her son is in the back seat, sleeping. Her clothes was ripped off into pieces, and so you could follow the clothes. The son, you could see the footprint, you could see how she run for her life. And this guy was, he's a man, he's a young man, agile. You could see how he run, and he run her down. So she didn't know what more to do. She run and hide, but he could have followed she and trace because he worked there, he know the place in and out.
The suspect, a loader operator attached to the well-known trucking service on the Suzaik-Linden Highway, was arrested Sunday afternoon. He had several marks of violence about his body, consistent with a fight or struggle, and notably one of the woman's rings was found in his pants pocket. The suspect has since reportedly confessed to the killing.
They already have enough evidence to put him away, and I don't even think jail or serving jail time is enough. I will feel satisfied with for what he have done to my sister.
Savitri Gangadin leaves to mourn her 3 sisters, husband and 2 sons. The suspect is expected to make his court appearance at the Georgetown Magistrates Court soon. A post-mortem conducted on the woman's body proved that she died from strangulation and a broken neck. Bishar Mohammed, The Evening News.
The United States has rejected government's claim that the U.S. $1.2 million Leadership and Democracy LEAD project was aimed at pushing constitutional reform. Let's find out more in this report.
The U.S. ambassador was at the time addressing members of the Georgetown Rotary Club at a ceremony to commemorate World Understanding Day. The Donald Ramotar administration remains firm in its position not to support the initiative, which seeks to promote understanding and active citizen participation in Guyana. However, U.S. Ambassador Brent Hart had said that the project is not designed to push for any constitutional reform, a belief held fast by the government. While the government of Guyana had requested that the project be halted, there are no indications that the U.S. government will give in to such demands. Government's Chief Whip Gil Teixeira had said that there was no word coming forward from the U.S. diplomats in Guyana concerning any change of plans. However, the 2 sides are slated to meet later this week to be engaged in discussions. The Leadership and Democracy Project, LEAD, cost some U.S. $1.2 million. The U.S. ambassador, in an effort to quell all misconceptions, explained that the project is not aimed at providing funding to any political party and in no way threatens Guyana's sovereignty. Opposition parties, the Private Sector Commission and Guyana Trade Union Congress have all praised the initiative. A Partnership for National Unity has even benefited from training sessions by the LEAD project on local government education. The United States is hoping that the LEAD project could promote understanding, consensus building, and the strengthening of the National Assembly. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
The Federation of Independent Trade Unions of Ghana, FITOC, today made calls for the timely passage of the Anti-Money Laundering Bill and urged the National Assembly to use the extension wisely. Alexis Rodney has more. In the release, the Federation of Independent Trade Unions of Ghana, FITOC, urged the ensemble of the National Assembly to use the extension given by the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, to make their amendments and have the bill passed in Parliament before the next deadline in May. FITOC also highlighted some of the issues that will affect its members if Ghana is further sanctioned by the FATF when it meets to discuss Ghana's fate at their impending meeting. Additionally, the trade union umbrella contended that the jobs of FITOC members could be jeopardized if businesses are unable to secure imported raw materials and inputs to facilitate operations within an acceptable time frame. The press statement noted that if businesses close their doors, the social impact will be grave. This could lead to major job cuts. Opposition leader David Granger on Saturday expressed his optimism that the bill would be tabled at the next sitting of the National Assembly. He, however, had some amount of uncertainty as to whether the bill would be successfully passed in Parliament on that day. On Thursday, FATF gave Ghana another extension to have the Anti-Money Laundering Bill passed before further sanctions are imposed on the country. The extensions were reportedly sanctioned based on recommendations from the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force, CFATF. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. Join us after these messages for more news. Welcome back. Some 80 homeless persons have already been identified by the Human Services and Social Security Ministry to take up residence at the newly constructed Hugo Chavez Rehabilitation Center at Angverwacht on the west coast of Berbice. Alexis Rodney reports.
Human Services and Social Security Minister Jennifer Webster, in an invited comment, told this newscast that her ministry is in the process of recruiting over 25 staff members to work at the institution. This, she said, includes a living administrator. There are also plans to establish a management oversight board for the center. Webster said that the various rooms in the center were recently furnished. The Human Services Minister said that the ministry is also working along with the Health Ministry to evaluate other persons who may want to seek refuge there. Webster added that while the home is not for persons to live for an extended period of time, persons dwelling there will receive special training so that they could be able to reintegrate into the society. Government, with the help of Venezuela, constructed the rehabilitation center on the west coast of Berbice. Homeless persons from across Guyana will be housed at the facility. The center was constructed to the tune of $402.8 million and will replicate the current program carried out by the Night Shelter in Isla Penitence, Georgetown. The center will be provided with counseling services, transportation, skills training, medical treatment, clothing and meals at the expense of the government. The center has the capacity to hold at least 200 males and 100 females. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
The People's Progressive Party Civic, PPPC, will soon disclose a replacement for former local government and regional development minister Ganga Prasad, who tendered his resignation amidst allegations of misconduct. Svetlana Marshall has the details.
It is currently unclear whether former local government and regional development minister Ganga Prasad will return to the National Assembly in the capacity of Member of Parliament. He tendered his resignation last month. However, the People's Progressive Party General Secretary Clement Roy has indicated that the party is discussing a possible replacement, noting that the comrade has taken certain positions on a voluntary basis.
Up to this point in time, we have discussed the matter preliminarily, but we haven't come to any formal decision on it as yet.
Who were some of the candidates identified?
No, we haven't identified any candidates as yet. We don't really look at the beginning at that person, you know. We look at the beginning in respect to the tasks ahead and who might be best suited to fill those tasks.
Currently, Junior Local Government Minister Norman Whitaker is acting as a substantive local government minister. Meanwhile, Rohi told reporters during the PPP's press conference on Monday that the party remains committed to the staging of both local government and general and regional elections. However, it was noted that the Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is not in a state of readiness for the much-anticipated local government elections.
The opposition continues to insist on legislative changes, notably to the Local Government Amendment Act, that are ultra-vires the Constitution of Guyana, the supreme law of our country. The opposition keeps shouting, "We are ready," and they want local government elections by August 1st, 2014, the latest. But this is not about readiness of the opposition only. The timing of the holding of local government elections is a function inter alia of the readiness of GECOM to execute the duties and responsibilities relative to fair and efficient preparation and conduct of these elections. The readiness of other political parties, groups and individuals, people's awareness, education and readiness to be part of this process.
During the last sitting of the National Assembly on February 10, the Partnership for National Unity and the Alliance for Change used their one-seat majority to have the Local Authorities Election Amendment Bill 2014 amended to have local government elections held by August 1. Originally, the bill was intended to have local government elections postponed. Local government elections was last held in 1994. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Svetlana Marshall.
The Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, opened its first day sit-in here listening to an application for leave by attorney Sanjeev Dattadin to file an appeal for his clients who had been sentenced to 4 years for a break-and-enter larceny case. The details from Svetlana Marshall.
The presiding panel comprised President of CCJ, Justice Charles Michael Dennis Byron, along with 4 other judges of the CCJ, Justice Adrian Saunders, Justice Jack Witt, Justice David Hayton, and Justice Winston Anderson. The panel heard submissions on an application for leave presented by attorney Savi Dattadin in association with Charles Ramson on behalf of their clients, Paul Lashley and John Campaign. The interest of the respondent, Detective Corporal Winston Singh, was represented by attorney Sonia Joseph. After the hour-long submissions between the 2 attorneys, the CCJ judges related that they will consider the submissions, which will take some time before arriving at a decision on whether to grant the application or not. The first day of the 3-day sitting was held before a packed room. Members of the legal fraternity took advantage of the opportunity to witness a sitting of what is the final court of appeal within CARICOM. The CCJ also held a workshop today which is focused on the improvement of justice delivery. It was led by Justices Byron and Saunders. On Tuesday, the CCJ panel will hear the other 2 cases. The culmination of the court's visit will be the special sitting in honor of the retirement of Justice Bernard on Wednesday at the GICC from 10 hours. The full bench of the CCJ will sit along with Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Carl Singh. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Svetlana Marshall.
Just when farmers from Erie Hall on the Essequibo coast thought they were in the clear after the December Conservancy breach, which flooded the community and destroyed several acres of rice, some are now faced with another major challenge. This time, strange green-looking worms are responsible for their heartache. The heartworm pest, as it is being called, is stunning rice fields, which were replanted following the flood. Farmers are now uncertain as to when they will reap their crop, which is presently 20 days old. Approximately 20 farmers whose rice lands are located close to the Conservancy are facing the infestation. They are clueless how the worms, living particularly in the middle of the young plants, got into their fields and are uncertain of a possible remedy. More of the evening news after these messages. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. The misdiagnosis of lung cancer is seen as one of the top challenges of the local health sector, Ghana Medical Council chairperson Dr. Vivian Mitchell has said. Mitchell made the comments on Sunday while addressing the Council's Continuing Medical Education CME meeting, which was held at the Ghana International Conference Center, Lillian Dahl. Lung cancer, pediatric hip pain in emergency medicine, early warning scoring systems, and newborn jaundice were among the topics that were up for discussion at the meeting. Mitchell said the subject areas were selected based on challenges facing the health sector. 30 Guyanese will soon be selected by Travelspan Airline to undergo training as flight attendants. Gabrielle Patram brings us the details.
Travelspan concluded their interviewing process today for the hiring of flight attendants, where a total of 54 Guyanese candidates were interviewed. However, that list will go through another screening process and be shortlisted to 30 persons, which is the number of local flight attendants the airline is looking for. The 30 lucky individuals will commence training in April for 3 weeks and thereafter proceed to Las Vegas, Nevada, United States for another training session. Director of Travelspan Rob Binns noted that the candidates must be honest, very enthusiastic, be a UG graduate, and willing to learn.
One of the changes we're making is that we're going to be replacing our American flight attendants with Guyanese flight attendants. And we find that most of our passengers are Guyanese visiting friends and family, and if we hire Guyanese flight attendants, we think they better reflect our customers, understand the market. And then it's another one of our commitments to the country, in that we're hiring people from Guyana, we're giving them good jobs, and we want people to think of Travelspan as a national carrier of Guyana.
Meanwhile, Binns also stated that the airline is committed to the Guyanese economy and is here to stay and help improve the country. He went on further to state that since they have commenced operations in Guyana, the reception by the Guyanese people have been overwhelming and inviting.
We send them all to Las Vegas to do their training. That's a great expense for us. But it's because we're committed to this market. We want to see it grow. And everyone who flies says the same thing. We need another carrier. We need an alternative. Well, here we are. And we're not only just flying the market, but we're hiring Guyanese to be on these flights. So please support us, and we'll continue to grow.
Travelspan presently offers direct flights to and from New York to Georgetown, Georgetown to Trinidad and Tobago, New York to Trinidad and Tobago, and in the summer to and from Trinidad and Tobago to the Dominican Republic. For the Evening News, I'm Gabriella Patram.
Approximately 220 of the more than 1,800 co-op societies registered in Ghana will be dissolved, Labour Minister Dr. Nanda Kishore Gopal disclosed today, noting too that the Education Ministry has been advised to drift away from the school's Thrift Co-op Society program due to financial discrepancies uncovered. Svetlana Marshall brings us more.
Accountability has been a major problem, and we have started the process of having many of the societies audited. Those for which we cannot find records or officials or to have proper accountability, these will be dissolved. And we're talking about in excess of 200 co-op societies.
That was Labour Minister Dr. Nanda Gopal speaking to the Evening News this morning during an exclusive interview. In September 2013, the Labour Ministry's Cooperative Department commenced a verification process to determine the functionality of co-ops, friendly societies and credit unions in Guyana. Based on the findings, the ministry has taken a decision to dissolve a percentage of the existing co-ops. Financial discrepancies remain a major problem. This is common in the Ministry of Education school thrift co-op societies. Dr. Gopal explained that from 397 societies existing within the school system, many have had accountability problems. School thrift co-op societies were established to encourage students at the primary and secondary level to save.
Because our banking system is now so advanced, and are almost all over the country, can be easily accessed. We are encouraging parents and schools to move away from these thrift societies and open accounts, early savers accounts, for example, in these banks, so that they can get interest and at the same time there could be proper accountability.
Despite the challenges, the Labour Minister said credit unions have been performing exceptionally well. Praises were given to the Guyana Agriculture and General Workers Union, the Guyana Defence Force, the Public Service Union, and the Guyana Police Force, among others. These co-ops, inclusive of friendly societies and unions, have been established under the Cooperative Societies Act. The cooperative movement owns in excess of $15 billion in assets. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Svetlana Marshall.
A man appeared in court today charged with simple larceny. Calvin Francis of Lot 73 Princess Street Lodge, Georgetown, pleaded not guilty to the charge, which states that on Monday, February 10, he stole one swine valued $65,000 from Dean Bacchus. Prosecutor Michael Grant said from statements received on the day in question, the virtual complainant went to the swine's pen to feed it when she noticed that it was missing. Eyewitnesses say that the accused was seen leaving the owner's yard. A report was made and the defendant was subsequently arrested. The accused told the court that he was walking on the road when he saw the swine injured. He then removed it and took it to the market to sell to a friend. During this time, he noted that someone saw him and accused him of stealing the swine. The unknown person contacted the owners, who later lodged a report with the police. The court heard that the defendant was convicted for a similar offense in the past and served 18 months in prison. Given this information, bail was refused by Chief Magistrate Priya Sunaran Bihari. The defendant will make another court appearance on March 3. Stay with us, more news still ahead. Welcome back, you're watching the Evening News. The three-day Rupununi Music and Arts Festival concluded Sunday evening with organizers hailing it as a great success. The festival had an auspicious start at the Rockview Lodge in the Anai community of Region 9 on Friday. It was formally opened by Prime Minister Samuel Hinds, who commended the organizers for launching an event that brought performers from across the world to Ghana's interior. He said tourism has been identified as a sector that can foster development by attracting overseas visitors to experience Ghana's unique flora and fauna. To this end, new airlines and the expansion of the Chedi Jagan International Airport are in train to take advantage of the new opportunities available, along with the construction of the soon-to-be-opened Marriott Hotel, the Prime Minister said. First-time performers Buxton Pride Steel Orchestra walked away with the winning title in the school band category when Republic Band Guyana Limited held its annual steel pan competition at the National Cultural Centre on Sunday evening. Alexis Rodney joins us with that report.
Members of the audience could hardly contain themselves as the delightful melodies echoed throughout the National Cultural Centre. It was the 6th annual Republic Bank Mashramani Panorama Steel Pan Competition. The event got off to a slow start sometime around 1600 hours with junior and senior solo performances, but by the time contestants from the Pan Duet and Pan Jazz took to the stage, the audience was hardly able to remain still. The simple pieces were transformed into radiant performances thanks to the brilliant innovations of the arrangers. Went wild when first-time performer Buxton Pride Steel Orchestra manipulated the instruments with an impeccable performance and was branded as show stealer. It was even more thrilling when that band came out on top for the school band category. The Pan Wave Academy was also a force to be reckoned with, as their colorful presence on the stage uniquely matched their dazzling performance. Culture, Youth and Sport Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said that the competition was among the many programs engaged in the ministry as the country prepares for Mashramani celebrations next Sunday. Manager of the Camp Street branch, Sherwin Greaves, said that the resurgence of the steel pan art form and the inclusion of young players were indeed heartwarming. He said that the financial institution remains committed to serving communities with a special emphasis being placed on the empowerment of the nation's youth. For the evening news, Alexis Rodney.
President Donald Ramotar on Saturday said the East Demerara Water Conservancy's EDWC Hope Canal project will boost food security and foster other developments for Guyana. He was at the time speaking at the commissioning of the long-awaited Hope Canal Bridge, component 2 of the Hope Canal project. He was joined by Agriculture Minister Dr. Leslie Ramsamy, Minister of Public Works Robeson Ben, and Chief Executive Officer of the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA, Lionel Wordsworth, among several other officials. The head of state pointed out that the project, which was conceived after repeated flooding was experienced in the area, has importance from an economical as well as a humanitarian standpoint. The customary regional flag-raising ceremonies have been approved. This is according to Presidential Advisor Gil Teixeira. More in this report.
As Republic Day approaches, Presidential Advisor Gil Teixeira announced that the customary flag-raising ceremonies have been approved by Cabinet. Teixeira made this announcement at a post-Cabinet press conference last week. She noted too that government ministers have been assigned to various regions where they are mandated to be in attendance as the flag-raising ceremonies are being conducted.
The following ministers are being sent out to the following regions. Region 1, Mabaruma, Honorable Robeson Ben. Region 2, Anna Regina Center Ground, Honorable Ali Baksh. Region 3, and you know where those places are, Mabaruma, Anna Regina. Region 3, Vreden Hoop, Honorable Dr. Jennifer Webster. Region 4, Honorable Dr. Berry Ramsaran. Region 5, the Honorable Juan Edghill. Region 6, this is the one at New Amsterdam, the Honorable Attorney General Anil Nandalau.
The presidential advisor noted that for some municipalities, including Coverton, no officials have been assigned as yet. This year, Guyana will be celebrating 44 years under the theme Cultural Folklore, Celebrating 44. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manik Chan.
Join us after these messages for more news. Welcome back, and now for a look at sport in your headlines. George and Morgan, top athletes for 2013. Goodwill Boxing Tournament end on high note. Teach and Ryan Challenger Ball stars in West Indies' big win. Our sportscast comes to you with the kind compliments of MacCorp.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. But that is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. MacCorp, let's build Guyana together. And now for the news in detail.
The Athletics Association of Ghana, AAG, held their annual award ceremony on Saturday evening at the Young Men's Christian Association, YMCA, where Olympian Winston George was named the Male Athlete of the Year, while Alika Morgan was crowned Female Athlete of the Year. Tristan Joseph reports.
Before the awardees received their trophies for their work in 2013, the AAG received a stern warning from Senior Vice President of the GOA, Charles Curbing, for not being aware of their athletes' level of preparedness.
It means that any future recommendation that comes from the AAG that has to be considered where I am a member of the panel, the question as to whether that person should be on the panel will become questionable. Because if at the time after selection, the athlete is saying, I'm not prepared, did the AAG not know this before the persons were included on the list?
However, earlier, President of the AAG, Aubrey Hudson, who explained the rigors of the 2013 year for the AAG, was positive that his association will produce good athletes.
This council is committed to producing the caliber athletes that the nation could be proud of, and may I put in, dope-free. For me, in 2013, we've had a good year, and as I said in the Congress, we did not have a great year, but it was a good year.
Executive of the National Sports Commission, Gervie Harry, stressed that the athletes need more attention, but gave reason why it might be difficult.
At almost every association, federation, we've got wars at the top, open confrontation at the top. And that is not going to do well for sports in Guyana.
The event concluded with the athletes receiving their awards. The awards winners are Male Athlete of the Year, Winston George; runner-up, Stephon James; Female Athlete of the Year, Alika Morgan; runner-up, Javina Straker; Junior Athlete of the Year, Kevin Abensets; runner-up, Clarence Green; Junior Female Athlete of the Year, Javina Straker; runner-up, Alita Moore; Youth Male Athlete of the Year, Jason Yaw; Youth Female Athlete of the Year, Cassie George; runner-up, Tarana Mitchell; Coach of the Year, Julian Edmonds; Official of the Year, Kendra Squires Rose; runner-up, Nigel Hope.
An unbeaten 84 from the opener paved the way for West Indies under-19s thrashing of Zimbabwe under-19s in Abu Dhabi. On Sunday, Chandrapal struck 6 fours during his knock and forged 50-plus partnerships with Shimron Hetmeyer and Jonathan Drakes to shepherd the team to a formidable 275 for 6. Hetmeyer hit 8 fours, but fell one short of half-century, while Drake's 54-ball 50 included 6 fours. Zimbabwe were unable to gather any momentum during the chase and lost wickets right from the off. Only 3 batsmen reached double digits, while their highest contribution was an undefeated 45 from Kieran Gale, all the way down to number 8. West Indies seamers Ray Jordan and Preston McSween shared 6 wickets between them to bundle Zimbabwe out of for 108 inside 40 overs. The final night of the Four Nations Goodwill Boxing Tournament, organized by the Ghana Boxing Association, GBA, and the Ghana Olympic Association, was filled with exhilarating action at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall. More in this report.
Teresa London, who won the Best Female Boxer Award of the tournament, defeated Trinidad's Shamir Taylor in the 75 kg category by way of unanimous decision. London used her jab well against Taylor, who tried to use haymakers to get the knockout, but were too slow to connect to London. Imran Majid Khan was also in action against Claremont Gibson and won by way of unanimous decision in their 60 kg bout. Khan was a menace on the attack as he looked to use his jab to set up his right hook that Gibson had trouble defending during the entire fight. Meanwhile, Dennis Thomas, who won the best boxer of the tournament, was a stalwart in the ring on Sunday evening when he locked horns with Jamaica's Michael Gardner in the 75 kg bout. Thomas always looked balanced in the ring as he picked his spots to attack. In other results, Michael April topped Junior Henry by way of unanimous decision. Delon Charles defeated Stephon Ned. Ian Bancroft topped Jamaica's Kessner Davis by unanimous decision. And Bert Braithwaite defeated Lindell Marcellin of St. Lucia by way of split decision.
A sensational double century from New Zealand captain Brendan McCullum helped his side towards safety in the second test against India. McCullum reached stumps on day 4, unbeaten on 281, his highest test score, with the skipper having shared world record stand with 6th wicket with B.J. Watlin. McCullum had come to this crease on Sunday with New Zealand on 52 for 3 and on the brink of defeat. However, his 525-ball knock meant the host will go into the final day on 571 for 6, a lead of 325. Remember, you can read about these and other stories in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times newspaper, which can be picked up from vendors across the country. Join us after these messages for your Bridge Reports.
Believe that everything worth building should be built just once. That is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. Mark on. Let's build Guyana together.
Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. At Emerald Harbour Bridge will be closed on Tuesday, February 18 at 5 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Tuesday, February 18 at 7 hours 40 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Monday, February 17, 2014 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us.